you. Hi guys, my name is Newman and I live in these beautiful mountains here. So before the fire I had a place where I could relax and clear my mind. This place contained 40 years of Mother Nature's work, with trees and shrubs that had existed there for thousands of years. This place defies the world of civilization around us and looks much the same as it did thousands of years ago. This place is part of the most biodiverse region of the world, the California Floristic Province, and is not a redwood forest, not Yosemite, not Yellowstone, but the Santa Monica Mountains, where we live, and this place burned in the fire. Mediterranean ecosystems, or chaparral, make up 2% of the world, but 20% of the plant's biodiversity. When hiking through the Santa Monica Mountains in the right places, you're surrounded by a protected canopy of trees and shrubs. For example, manzanitas, which red bark is so smooth and so velvet, it feels like something out of a movie. I have some right here. Don't worry, this fell from a tree, so no trees were harmed when I took it. And another example is the ceanothus tree. And then this tree blooms, it turns the entire mountainside white, and it's one of the most beautiful things you can ever experience. It reminds me of the cherry blossoms in Japan. It's crazy. Another example of our beauty here in Malibu is the many aromatic plants we have. One example is bay laurel, which leaves are comparable to the bay leaves in Europe. Please pass this out to the crowd. Thank you. Black sage, which when you're hiking, you're surrounded by it. And many of these plants are actually used in aromatherapy to calm people down. And it really shows the beauty of our place we live in. Another example is purple sage. Now, when I used to run in these mountains before the fire, I used to run through fields of purple sage. And now that it's gone, I feel like it really beautiful. And I want people to smell this so they can really appreciate it. Now, the chaparral that we live in, the Mediterranean ecosystem, is one of the most threatened plant communities on Earth. It's already lost 70% of its natural habitat, and it's only holding on to a few fragments of what it has left. And one of the examples is the Santa Monica Mountains, which you can see behind us. This plant community is threatened by too many fires. According to the National Park Service, the organization that controls much of these mountains, the fires are supposed to burn every 75 to 100 years. But currently, they burn about every 20 years. And a fire interval of less than 20 years can completely destroy the ecosystem. Trees like manzanitas and ceanothus need about 20 years to even start producing seedlings. So when there's a fire interval of less than 20 years, it can completely eradicate the species. And invasive plants like black mustard, which you can actually see all over this hillside, which is already dead and decaying plant matter. Black mustard is an annual plant that lives for a short period of time and then dies, turning the entire hillside brown with dead plant matter. And this plant creates a huge fuel load when it dies. So we could have a fire next year, and with the shorter fire interval, it'll destroy the chaparral even more, the beautiful Mediterranean ecosystem we live in. We need to stop the fire interval from being so short, and also 98% of fires are caused by human beings, and climate change is accelerating this. We need to do something before our mountains are destroyed forever and Malibu turns into a desert scape with no life. Thank you.